Today we talk about Phantom Leader Deluxe Edition. I received my copy recently and I was super mega excited. You know, if you watch my videos, that I am a huge fan of the Air Leader system by DVG. It is simply one of my favorite systems. Games in the system are some of my favorite war games. It is just such a fun system. Love it, love it, love it. And within that system, the Cinderella so far was pretty much Phantom Leader, a game that projects the Air Leader system onto the Vietnam War. It is a representation of the Vietnam War from the perspective of the solitaire strategy player. And why was it the Cinderella? Well, because of the quality of the components, because you had less stuff in its box, less game than you had in other games in the system, such as Hornet Leader, Carrier Air Operations, or Thunderbolt Apache Leader. Now, we don't have to worry about that anymore, because thanks to the new edition, Phantom Leader has been brought to the high quality standard of the best games in the system. So now choosing what game you want to play is mainly a matter of taste concerning the theme, not just if you want to have a full deluxe game or not. Well, I guess you can still choose if you want to get a first sense of how the system works to start from the regular Phantom Leader. But after you see what's in here, I hope that you will not do that and you will start from the Deluxe Edition immediately, or any of the other super awesome titles in the system. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a comparative review, because I'm sure that many of you have the regular edition and you're wondering, well, do I really need the Deluxe? The short answer is yeah, you do. Well, cards, let's talk about the cards later. Counters, the counter trays that you see here are not included in the game, I just added them. These are the counters for the regular Phantom Leader, and here we have the ones for the Deluxe Edition. As you can see, there is simply more stuff. There are more counters, more things, more options in the new edition, and it is not only that. It's not only that there are more counters, but the counters are also better. The counters of the new edition are considerably thicker than the old ones, which means more durable, but also more fun to play with, more easy to move around, just better quality. Also, we have counters to represent some of the new rules, some of the new ideas that have been added to the game, but I will tell about that later. For now, just have a look at the beauty and magnificence of this cornucopia of counters. This set also comes with way more aircraft models than before, more pilots. That also means more aircrafts to play with, to experiment, and so of course you have counters to represent those. Alright, the old edition had two cardboard displays, not the most attractive displays I've seen in my life. One to organize cards and to have a sequence of play as a player, and the other one the tactical display, which really is not too exciting. Let's see what the new edition has instead. Ta-da! Behold the tactical display, which also includes an area for the cards, another area for the cards here, and the sequence of play here. It is written in smaller font than in the older game, but you have everything in one location. The graphics are just much better, or very similar to the ones that you have in Hornet Leader, Carrier Air Operations, and it is a mounted display. Much easier on the eye than the previous display. Then we have the campaign cards, each of these cards with information that you need to play a campaign, targets that You will try to attack. Oh, come on, come on. There we go. Targets that you will try to attack. Other things to keep track of: recon, intel, politics, which is a really cool thing about the Vietnam War. Not the real one, about this representation of the Vietnam War, which is that certain targets will lower your political value, and that will force you to choose lower value political targets later. Sometimes you just want to hit a big target to score a lot of points. Well, you can, because the political situation is such that it wouldn't be a good idea. Not for the politicians, at least. The new campaign cards are laminated or plastified. I don't know exactly, but they just look more durable. They look waterproof. The old ones don't. Just better quality, more quote-unquote professional, technological looking. Also, you have 2 extra ones. You have 6 campaign cards here. That means 6 possible campaigns, and you have 8 here because you have 2 campaigns covering the Cuban Missile Crisis, and this is a completely new thing, completely new addition to the set. You did not have these 2 campaigns in the old Phantom Leader, and then other stuff where the difference is not as staggering. The rulebook, general player aid, the player log, which you will need to copy anyways. Well, we have a player log here too, rulebook, and the player aid. What is this player aid here? Either I misplaced it, or actually this new edition doesn't have. Oh, here it is. Here it is. The new edition also has this player aid, which also is printed on better material. Again, also this is laminated / plastified. It just looks much more durable. And the rule book, so at least the first page looks better, looks more beautiful. I don't know if we need to compare, page with page. Overall, the good thing is that both books do what they need to do. Both books are very clear in presenting the game, in telling you how to play, and things like that. Here we have some damage counter that didn't fit in the counter tray, but so I used a little plastic baggie. And then the cards. Alright, the cards are a lot. There are a lot of aircraft cards in the new edition. These are the cards that you had in the old one. Yep. I'm sure you can see that there is a slight difference there. This means many more options, more pilots, more things that you can do. Replay value exponentially increased by all the combinations of pilots and aircraft that you can experiment from game to game. Event cards and target cards. Now I haven't counted them. It may also just be that these ones are thicker, but in any case. Now let's look at the graphics. Let's look at the graphics. The graphics for the targets and the targets in the new edition and the old edition is not hugely different. I actually like this one slightly better, but what can I say at this point? Maybe it's just biased because everything looks so awesome in this new edition that everything looks so awesome. Maybe the difference in this case is not huge. What else is new here? As I said, there are pretty much, I think, 2 new things that will modify gameplay, and those are things that happen on the tactical display. As usual, you will place the target card in the middle of the tactical display, enemies around it, and in the center area waiting for you to show up. Here, however, there are restrictions that the politicians are placing on you. The flight paths that you will have to fly are much more restrictive. They give you less maneuverability than you had before. So you have flight path counters that come in pairs. As you can see, you have flight path 2, flight path 1. When you are about to enter the tactical display, you place a flight path counter in each area from which you're entering, and then you place the corresponding flight path counter in the opposite area. Flight path 1, flight path 1, flight path 2, 2. The restriction here is that you need to exit the tactical display from an area that either has the same number corresponding to the flight path area that you used to enter, or it is adjacent to it. So if you enter from here, you will have to exit from here or from one of the two adjacent areas. If you're from here, from that one, or from one of these two. Much more restrictive than before. However, also the enemy now have a new restriction, and to indicate that restriction you will use these counters here, which indicate the angle of attack that the enemy sites can use. You will place all these counters in a cup, and then you will select one of them randomly each time that you place an enemy site with a range of 1 or 2 in one of the 4 approach areas. If the site doesn't have a range of 1 or 2, or if it is not in the approach area, you don't need to worry. But for those, such as these ones, for those enemy sites, then you will have to draw one of these counters and place it there with the arrow pointing towards the outside of the board. There we go. And now the counter indicates the only areas that that site can use to fire against the opponent. For example, this one here can only fire in its own area and in that area there. This one has much more freedom, can fire in, well, a lot of locations, with the exception of locations opposite to it pretty much, and the central area. So the enemies have a new limitation, you also have a new limitation. It is a new set of circumstances that, well, makes the game feel fresh, makes the game feel different from the previous incarnation of Phantom Leader. Phantom Leader wasn't an ugly duckling, but it wasn't a swan either. And now it is an eagle that flies in the sky of eternal wargaming glory. This is how wonderful it looks like. The game was awesome before, now we have more cards, more options, more pilots, more of what made the game great, that of course now makes the game even more inconceivably great. Fantastic system, very intriguing topic, great mechanics, as solid as you will find in any game. It is great to be able to play the game in solitaire. Maybe some people like a 2-player options, but as when it comes to solitaire games, the air system, the air leader system is just a fantastic one. Great incarnation of the system in Phantom Leader originally, even better, incredibly better now in Phantom Leader Deluxe Edition. Again, great game, fantastic presentation. Now you have no excuses anymore whatsoever not to play Phantom Leader Deluxe Edition, possibly.